What's up everybody, welcome to a guide on Malzahar Support. The meta within bot lane has been breaking a lot of rules recently, and Malzahar is an effective support at trading and applying pressure to enemies within the laning phase. The ability to push the lane, or control enemies with your Voidlings and Malefic Visions, and lock down key targets in teamfights is really fun, and unlike the other mage supports such as Brand, Veigar or Zyra, the enhanced survivability offered from Malzahar's passive is a significant advantage for trading in the laning phase. The potential to block out spells or attacks with your passive or deploy a Voidling to do so instead is a real weapon, and after this, if you've got cooldowns you can be rather vulnerable, as you lack mobility, peel or slow and you have longer cooldowns, but things do get better when your items come together later. After you've got your Nether Grasp, try and single out the right target in teamfights, catch carries or enemies walking astray, or use it to peel for your allies. This is a top tier lockdown and will help delay enemy carries' attack build and assist your team in securing kills. Just be careful not to cancel it unintentionally by auto attacking or moving. Malzahar thrives with the right synergy. Jhin, Ashe, Misfortune or Varus are all excellent options as they're able to follow it with more crowd control or damage after you've used your spells. And other synergy can be found in more carries as long as they're able to get into position and assist on your engages. The potential pitfalls as Malzahar can be found against longer ranged enemies, high crowd control teams, or being ganked due to your low escape potential. Or enemies such as Nami, Lulu, Morgana or Karma, it can be difficult to position aggressively without being punished from these players, and it's also simple for these enemies to disable your passive. Enemy carries such as Caitlyn, Misfortune and Jinx can also be quite tricky due to the range and lane presence. And against lanes that like to push early, use your Voidlings to control the speed of the push, and if you can use it against a champion to scare them off, then you can allow your carry to CS a little bit more, and if you're unable to use it offensively, it's acceptable to use it on the minions to slow the push as well. But in an LP free world, we would love to be able to express our aggression freely. If the laning phase doesn't have enemies who can clear your Voidlings quickly, max out your W first, otherwise take more points into Q first. I like to max W, Q, E and then R. And I've tried around with many different paths, but for the support, the additional damage on the minions and then the silence is pretty important. Now there's a lot of fun to be had with Malzahar's item build. I start with Spellthief's Edge and move into the Frostfang, Sightstone and Boots after the early game. There's nothing special here, but my core items are Ryla's Crystal Scepter and Leandra's Torment. These items give both the slow and damage burn effect, as well as survivability through their health. After this it depends on my game. Sometimes I felt forced into Locket of the Iron Solari, so I'm throwing that in there as a situational item as well. And cooldown reduction is helpful, so I opt in for Boots of Lucidity, Eye of the Watchers, or Movellos. And further situational items can include Redemption, the Zwat Portal, GA, Banshee's Veil, or a Banner of Command. And whilst I seldom invest in the same item build each game, there's a lot of diversity. But stick to the core and explore afterwards. Malzahar's runes and masteries can be tweaked for different playstyle options. I like to choose 0-18-12, taking Thunderlord's Decree, because the extra spell penetration can be useful, although I'd also recommend the extra health, mana regen, CDR, utility and the mobility, just to make your trading as efficient as possible. And to aid it further with your runes, I take Marks of Magic Penetration, Seals of Health, Glyphs of Ability Power, and 1 Ability Power Quintessence and the final 2 with Armor. And if you don't have these, an alternative to the health can be more Armor or more Ability Power as well. These are going to aid you to trade and be as effective as possible when you're in game. And as you get onto level 6, try and prioritize your targets with Nether Grasp, and if you're able to ult carries, great, although be sure once they've got Quicksilver Sash, you avoid prioritizing them unless you know it's on cooldown. And as for your summoner spells, I usually opt in for Exhaust against the heavy dive threats and assassins, but most of the time I've been enjoying Ignite to enlarge the kill potential. And Malzahar Support is gaining a lot of popularity. It's really fun and it's quite strong right now. So go and try it for yourself if you already haven't. And before I say goodbye, I'm really sorry for the delay in uploading. It's pretty difficult to sit down and get enough time to really get my teeth into editing these guides. But as always, thank you for your patience, and you can always keep up with what I'm up to on Twitter. The link's below. So cheers for watching, I hope you've learned something and I shall see you in the next video. Bye guys!